then sold to Duke Power. The entire lake area and the dam is all the vision of one man by the name of Dr. Lucius Morse. He was born in 1871 in St. Louis, Missouri. Became a doctor. In 1899, he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. In order to better treat the condition, he knew he had to get out of the cold St. Louis winters and move to a much more temperate area, so he chose here. He was an avid outdoorsman. Horseback riding was one of his favorite things, as well as hiking and backpacking and camping. One time he hired a local guide for 25 cents to take him up on a donkey to the top of Chimney Rock. Once he got up there, he could not believe what he saw, the beauty of it, and the possibilities in the future that they could have. So he bought Chimney Rock and the 64 surrounding acres for $500 back in 1903. He and his brothers then formed Carolina Mountain Properties. And he and his two brothers continued over the next several years to buy more and more property until they got up to over 8,000 acres of property. And we're all in a part of that. Part of that vision then was to make this a year-round resort. So they bought out anybody that lived nearby that was within that 8,000 acres. They'd obviously bought them out and then paid to relocate. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. The lake is primarily formed by the Broad River coming into the river. That's where our primary source of water to fill the lake comes from. It'll be ahead of us up here on the left. It's a great source to keep this lake up at full pond. It also brings with it some challenges. When we have the big heavy storms, a lot of debris comes into this lake from the river, and the crews of the town have to spend a lot of time going through and collecting it and discarding it. The other thing that comes rolling in here with the storm water is a lot of sand and sediment. And that can end up being a problem because it will fill our channel and get to the point where there's so much sand in there you can't manage the channel. So directly in front of us, you're going to see we have some dredging equipment. The blue boat that you see, or barge up there, is a hydro dredger. It is capable of coming down. It's got an attachment on the front of it under the water that you can't see that stirs up the sand and then sucks it through the pipe. You see that orange flow behind it? There's a pipe that's going from there about a quarter of a mile up the river and deposits it on the right side of the river, and then it is later loaded onto trucks and hauled off. This particular dredging operation is started at the beginning of the year, and they will go all the way through to the end of December. The lake will then be lowered by 20 feet to allow work on the dam. When it reopens in March and the lake fills back up, they'll continue to dredge until Memorial Day, where they anticipate that it will be complete. This lake is also known for a few movies in the area. We had one that was in the mid-'80s, and that was called Firestarter, starring Drew Barrymore. The next one was A Few Good, My Fellow Americans. That was filmed over here. Scenes of that were filmed over here in the park. We also had the last 20 minutes of The Last of the Mohicans up in the upper part of Chimney Rock. Then we had some other little B-rate movies. Some kind of nasty, Dirty Dancing. So Dirty Dancing was part of that. About 40% of the film was filmed here at a former boys' summer camp retreat. It'll be right up here around the corner. I'm going to show you some things. And by the way, this is our fire boat. You'll hear some stories about that in just 20 minutes.
Wow.
Hey guys. So that as I was saying, the film was really shot over here what's now Firefly Cove. Unfortunately, all of the cabins and such that were part of the boys' camp ended up being destroyed by fire from Parsons about 2 years after the film was completed. It has since become Firefly Cove and is home to many very nice luxury homes. We're going to go over there and see a couple of things you might recognize from the movie. As we get around this point, on the far shore, you're going to see a tan-colored house and boathouse. The boathouse sits in front, up on the water itself. The house behind it will have a dormer on the top of the roof. And to the left of that, you'll see a stone fireplace. You'll start to see that in the front here in just about 5 seconds. There's the boathouse. You'll see it? And then behind it, you'll see the house with the dormer on the top.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, and then the stone fireplace to the left of that. And then take a look to the left of that on the ground. You're going to see a handrail and a set of stairs going up to the left of that house. That set of stairs is where Baby Kate dancing down the stairs with the watermelon, practicing her dance moves, leaving Johnny's cabin.
Come on. Okay.
See it?
Sai.
That's really the last real visible part of the movie that you can see from out here. There is one other spot, however. As we get around the corner, I'm going to have you look sharp left. We're going to put Baby in a corner for just a minute. You see a red kayak and a yellow kayak stored over there. And to the left of that, you'll see a real tiny little circular part of the bay there, the cove. This is where, when you watch the movie and they were practicing the lift scenes, this is where that was filmed, okay? And it took them many retakes to the point where they were in the water practicing this for about 6 hours. Now, what was the time of year that this movie was supposed to be set in? Summer. It was a summer vacation. Okay, well, the reality of it was filmed here in October, November. So when they were in that water for 6 hours practicing, it was 50 degrees. The water was super cold. They kept wanting, the director kept wanting reshoot. Finally,